Bonjour tout le monde. So we're back with another grammar videos and we're already on Dossier 7. So we're almost done with 102. So today we're going to be talking about le partitif et les articles, définis, indéfinis. So these are grammar, or the term itself you probably have never heard of, but you've definitely used that before. So let me show you some example of what I mean here. So l'article défini, for instance, so if I were to translate that, that would be definite article. So things that you know before, for instance, like definite nouns that you want to talk about. These are le, la, les, right? Mainly you use le, la, les, especially in this particular topic, when you want to talk about generalities or taste. So as you can tell here, if you want to express a positive idea or a negative idea, you use les articles définis. For instance, in general, if you want to say, I like duck or I like onion soup, you would say, j'aime le canard, j'adore la soupe à l'oignon, right? So in just general, you're not talking about anything specific in front of you. You're just talking about the idea in general, right? Like, j'adore le chocolat. J'adore les baguettes. If you want to say something in the negative, feel free to use ne and pas, but then again, you're just using the article. It's not changing to de because you're not talking about something specific, you're just talking in general. I don't like cheese. I'm not saying I don't like this particular cheese, I'm just saying I don't like cheese. Same thing with I hate green peas. And yes, I do hate green peas, not my favorite. Okay, so again, think of generalities and just expressing your likes and dislikes. Speaking about indefinite articles, une, des, now we're getting a bit more precise, right? Now we're talking about what's in front of us, etc. So if you want something precise, and by precise I mean you want a specific quantity, like one plate or one serving of something, you're going to be using une, des, and again, that will depend on the gender or the quantity of what you have in front of you. So if you want to say, I want a filet of fish, right, or like a morceau de poisson, which is a piece of fish, you would use un filet de poisson. Same thing with je veux une salade de fruits, I want a fruit salad, right? So you want something very specific. You can also see this, and this should say, my bad, let me find my pen, this should say une, right, because we have étudiante. So if you want to, you probably already know this, but if you want to use article indéfini for people or a thing that you have not yet identified, you use une et des. And again, it's the same thing as saying, this is a student, this is an extraordinary baguette, right? So things that you have not yet introduced in your discourse, right? They are unidentified people or subjects. Now, partitif, these are the de, la, du, des, etc. So, remember that indéfini, the un, une, etc., these are for things that you want a specific quantity of, right? But when you're using partitif, these are things that you cannot count or usually you don't count, right? So they are quantities that are not fixed. Think of it as saying some, right? Like potato, mashed potato, right? You don't count mashed potato, you just say I want some mashed potato. And purée is feminine, so that's why you're using de la. Same thing with broccoli. You don't count broccoli, right? If you're having like a bowl of broccoli, you just say I'm having a bowl of broccoli. You don't say I want 3 stems of broccoli, right? So that's why you're using du, because you can't count it. Same thing with fraise. Can I say I want 3 strawberries? Sure, but usually people just say I want some strawberries. Okay, so I would say here, je veux ou elles veulent des fraises. And again, that's plural. Plural. Again, you have, I didn't mention it there, but you have de l'apostrophe when you have a vowel, right? I want some lamb, right? Can I say je veux des morceaux ou 3 morceaux de lamb? Do I want some pieces of lamb? Yes, you could say that, and we'll talk about this in the next focus long, which is lesson 2. But now I'm just telling you that for things that you can't count or you don't count, use le partitif. Now, you can also say something that you don't want, right? Like for instance, here I'm saying I want some mashed potato, but what if I didn't want the mashed potato? You can introduce your ne pas. The only thing is you will no longer have the la. The de la becomes de for all of it, okay? Or if you have something but it's basically nothing, so if I didn't have mashed potato in front of me, it would be une quantité zéro, then you'll use de. Je ne veux pas de purée de pommes de terre, so that would be if I don't want mashed potato. So if I don't have any, je n'ai pas de purée de pommes de terre. And see as well here that I'm not saying de la because I'm introducing a negative, and also I'm saying that I don't have any. Okay, same thing here. Nous voulons du fromage. Nous ne voulons pas de fromage. Okay, so it's basically the same thing as de la, except for du is de plus le becomes du. And in the negative form, you need to resort to the de. Okay, so same thing I could say, je n'ai pas de fromage. Juliette veut des rillettes. Juliette ne veut pas de rillettes. Again, this is de plus les, right? We don't want the additional articles, so we take that away in the negative form. Vous mangez de l'œuf. Same thing. This gets resorted back to de. Vous ne mangez pas de plus œuf, and you know the whole ordeal. When you have a vowel, the e gets dropped. So, vous ne mangez pas d'œuf. Okay, so only remember that when you have a negative and a quantity 0, whatever article that you have to express a quantity that you cannot count gets changed to de or the apostrophe, depending on whether or not it's a vowel in front of you. Alright, so I found this on the internet. I'll link this down below if you want to keep going with the exercises. There's quite a bit of worksheets there. So here, we're just going to follow the example. Les Français aiment le fromage. Again, here we're just talking about likes and dislikes in general, right? The French love cheese. And then here, we're talking about they eat some cheese, right? They eat cheese. So this could be something very specific, right? So they are eating something at a specific moment, or we could see it as fromage is something that you cannot count in general. Can you count pieces of fromage? Yes. But again, we'll talk about that later. So, les Suisses aiment le chocolat. So again, we're going to be using article défini here, right? The le, la, les, because I'm talking about likes and dislikes in general. So that would be le, because again, it tells you right there. Ils mangent du chocolat, right? They're eating some chocolate. Les Italiens aiment le parmesan, right? Likes and dislike. Ils mangent du, right? Because parmesan is masculin. Okay, remember for this particular one, I'm just using this as some and things that uncountable. Let's just go with food. Okay, so use du, de la, the apostrophe if you have a vowel and your de. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at this one. You have poutine, that's féminin. Les Québécois aiment la poutine. Ils mangent de la poutine. Okay, again, poutine is something that you can't count, right? It's just a bowl of mashed things. Les Belges aiment pommes de terre. So this one you have an S there, right? So it's going to be les pommes de terre. Ils mangent des pommes de terre, right? Some potatoes. Les Américains aiment le bœuf. Ils mangent du bœuf. Les enfants aiment les pâtes, right? Pasta. Ils mangent des pâtes. Les adolescents aiment la bière, right? They like beer. They are drinking some beer, so that would be de la, because bière is féminin. Les athlètes aiment l'eau. Okay, it's feminine, but it has a vowel, because we never say la eau, never. Ils boivent some water, so de l'eau, right? Because we have a vowel here. Les filles aiment les pâtisseries. Elles mangent des pâtisseries. Okay, so this one is feminine and plural. Okay, even if it was masculine here, it'd still be des. Les Tremblay aiment. Vin is masculin. Le vin rouge. Ils boivent du vin rouge. Let's just say we want to say that they are not drinking red wine. So it would be ils ne boivent pas. I need to move my mouse. De, right? Because the du, or all of the articles here, all of the partitif here becomes de when you're talking about the negative. De vin rouge. Alright, so hopefully that was simple. Again, it's things that you know, but now you know it a little bit more because it's a grammar exercise. D'accord? Merci beaucoup et bonne journée.